Well, biometric tattoos are raising the bar in wearable technology. And here to fill us in on the who, what, where, when, and why is our very own Lionel of Lionel Media. Hello, sir. Can you tell us what direction is this going with the biometrics and the tattoos? These things aren't easy to take off. What's your opinion on them?
Eventually, what's happening is that we are being led bit by bit through, to use the Skinnerian term, from shaping, through the successive approximation to ultimately having within our bodies an RFID chip that will be implanted, that people will stand in line and in queues for to have, so that ultimately we will have in our bodies. Because what we're doing right now, Lindsay, is we're slowly moving towards that. We went from the desktop to the laptop to the phone to the watch, and now we're having little tattoos, little biometrics, all of them leading to the ultimate goal, and that is an RFID, a radio frequency identification or similar chip, to be placed subcutaneously. And that chip, Lindsay, will have everything about you there is. Your bank account, your GPS location, and you will do it. You will get one. Because after all, it will also have the siren call of medical information. And then one day, God forbid, not you, one day when people are found guilty of, let's say, crimes, they're not going to be put into the Hoosgow, in the pokey. No, their chip is going to be turned off and poof, they don't exist anymore. That's where all of this is going.
Well, my question to you, I know it is scary. Now, my question to you is, what's the demographic for this right now? I see some nice advertisements on there that are, on our video. What age group do you think is going to put this? Would it be parents putting it on their children, teenagers, young adults, hipsters, you? What's the demographic?
Hipsters, millennials. Let me tell you a new one now. Let me tell you, you probably didn't know this is already there. Google came up with a patent where they're going to have, Lindsay, think about this, a Google tattoo or a tattoo like on your throat, and it will pick up covert voicings. It'll subliminal voicing, so that when you're thinking about something, you actually are doing micro vocalizations. You will be able eventually to read people's minds by virtue of this cool tattoo that people are having on their throat. Everything that's happening right now, think about this, it's not going to be because of the government forcing this on you, or the Stasi, or some type of a dystopian Orwellian 1984. No! People will say, please, please, like barking seals, like sheeple, put this on, put this tat on, this UPC. I want to be a part of it. I want to be hip. I don't know what privacy is. Please, subcutaneous, all the better, because I want to be cool. And I don't care about privacy, because after all, Lindsay, I've got nothing to hide.
Well, also, there's also a case being made for people who are going to live the analog lifestyle. Record players, or tape decks, analog lifestyle, you're disconnected. There's nothing electronic in your life. Would you ever try that in a bid to maintain your privacy?
You know what? Provided I'm not the only one, yes. Because let me tell you something right now. By the way, and keep in mind this, remember in Hollywood, all of those hacks and all of those terrible things? Do you know that fax machines in Hollywood have gone through the roof because they're going back? We're going to go back to the key. We're going to go back to actual old-fashioned, hoary, antediluvian analog things that aren't able to be hacked. Because remember, Lindsay, if I've got this little device on you, I can hack into that.
Exactly.
And eventually...
Keep going.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, the thing I like is that, a pen and a pad, you can't hack this. So that's what I walk around with, because, I don't want anyone finding out my private thoughts, you know what I mean?
But let me tell you something. And what happens is parents are one day going to chip their kids, because there aren't going to be any more Amber Alerts. You're going to chip your parents, especially those who suffer from dementia, and like OnStar. And eventually, it's all going to be you. You're going to have think about it, Lindsay. No more wallets. You want to pay for your bill? Go like that. Because there's the chip. Just go like that. We'll do these little hand waves. This will be everything. And then, as I said, The moment you transgress and that chip is turned off, you don't exist anymore. People won't be able to see you on their GPS devices, even though you're looking right at them. They're saying, I'm sorry, Lindsay, this isn't registering. Because without this, without my ability to pick up the metrics, the biometrics, the electronic metrics of you, you don't exist.
Well, for a lot of people out there, including myself, who's a relative hermit to today's younger generation, that'd kind of be okay if someone thought I didn't exist for a couple of days. Just get some privacy. Thank you so much for your input on this, legal and media analyst and friend of the show, Lionel of Lionel Media.
Thank you.
In de linkerchip zitten mijn bitcoins. En om nu een betaling te maken, zal ik eerst mijn chip scannen. Het is altijd even een gepriegel. Daar gaat hij al.
Nu leest de telefoon jou...
Mijn telefoon heeft de chip uitgelezen. En hij vraagt nu met welke bitcoin portemonnee ik het wil openen. In dit geval kies ik Mycelium. Hij vraagt om het wachtwoord. Dit is de beveiliging. Dit zal een tijdje duren voordat het ontsleuteld is, maar ik heb voor het gemak even een eenvoudig wachtwoord NOS gekozen. En hij gaat hem decoderen. Dit duurt even, maar dit is eigenlijk de beveiliging die ervoor zorgt dat niemand je bitcoins uit je hand kan stelen. Op dit moment wordt de versleutelde bitcoins worden dus omgezet in de telefoon. De telefoon slaat deze bitcoins niet op. Deze telefoon, dat is uit beveiliging eigenlijk. En op deze manier zijn je bitcoins veilig. En je ziet nu bitcoins uit de koude opslag opgeven. U gebruikt een persoonlijke sleutel met het volgende bitcoinadres. Dit is mijn bitcoinadres. En er staat €490 in mijn linkerhand. Dus nu wil ik wat verzenden. Dit doe ik naar mijn eigen adres. Ik kies Mr. Bitcoins tipjar, dat ben ik. Voer een bedrag in. Zeg nou, ik wil het gewoon in euro doen, want anders is het ingewikkeld. En maken we zeg van €100. €100 naar mijn bitcoin portemonnee. Is dat oké? €100, verzenden. Klaar, verzenden, transactie gelukt.
So he's going to use a large gauge needle that will install this subcutaneously. Ready for the insertion. Okay, that's in.
And the chip is in as well.
That's it. Done. Actually, it did not really hurt very much at all.
More now of our special coverage here tonight, life in the U.S. in 10 years' time. By that time, there may be all kinds of new ways to safeguard and identify all those things that make each of us unique, our faces, even our fingerprints, even our eyes. Here now with more on the future of technology, NBC's Tom Costello.
The year is 2017. You're rushed to a hospital unconscious with no ID or medical history, but thanks to a microchip under your skin, it's all there. Science fiction 20 years ago, but a biometric reality today.
The technology is based on answering one simple question. Am I who I say I am?
Already, fingerprints and iris scans verify passenger identities at airports. Within 10 years, that technology may be even more widespread. And look for more complex facial recognition programs that scan a crowd of thousands looking for a single terrorist. Today's facial recognition software starts with the eyes. Then it maps out the contours of the face and compares that against a database of millions, a database that's growing by the day. What's next? At the University of Bath in England, researchers predict big changes for consumers.
I think it is possible to free us completely of our wallets and keys using biometric technology, if that's what people want in 10 years' time.
In fact, it's already here. The latest home security locks use fingerprints to control deadbolts. And at the Jewel Osco grocery store in Chicago, some customers pay using their fingerprints. No paper or plastic.
You don't really need anything other than your hand, and you already got that with you.
So will future department stores scan our irises, like in the movie Minority Report, then offer products catered to who we are?
Hello, Mr. Yakamoto. Welcome back to the Gap.
Experts say that technology is here now. The challenge is to safeguard our privacy in a brave new world. Tom Costello, NBC News, Alexandria, Virginia.
We've been congressionally mandated to verify the exit process, and this is a test to determine in this pedestrian environment, can we do that with this technology?
Digital technology offers the promise of intimacy, amusement, and even a longer life. With the ability to do billions of calculations in our pockets, it seems we've discovered a new dimension in which everything in our lives can be improved and tracked, and then turned into money. But is convenience, profit, and surveillance the only use for these new powers?
We're a multimodal biometrics identification company. We've got the world's only patent on a handheld multimodal, which means fingerprint, iris, and facial device on smartphones or on tablets. It's installed in State Department of Corrections, sheriff's offices, and local police in 47 states. It's big.
For me, this is a form of governance by data. You might be a perfectly normal individual whose facial expression, for example, might indicate that you have some dangerous or suspicious thoughts.
Within 5 years or so, we're looking at a future where police forces would be able to identify who you are and where you are in the city and link it to a social networking page and to all of your friends.
Imagine technology that truly understands you and can adjust the ambience to your mood at that moment. Technology that lets you live your life without having to think about it, and just add something extra to the little things in life. Or the big ones. Enjoy the freedom. Revolutionary smart living.
How you doing, everybody? If I say microchip, RFID chip, mark of the beast, a lot of you are already saying conspiracy theorist, because you don't believe it's true. It's because you don't believe the Bible. In Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Let's stop right there. Some of the newer versions, they change in to on. Like the NIV, it says on. There's a difference between in your right hand or in your forehead. Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. It goes on to talk about 666. Now, is the RFID chip, is that the mark of the beast itself? That's a part of it. But the system is already in play. And we're gonna see that. You will not be able to buy or sell unless you have this mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You will not be able to buy or sell. So if you are here during this time, going through this time period, and you do not have this mark, then you will not be able to feed your family. You will not be able to feed yourself. You will not be able to go in the stores and shop like you do now. So you may be saying, well, I take the mark, and then I ask for forgiveness later because God understands I have to eat. I have to feed my family. Let's go over to Revelation chapter 14, starting at verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. And so if you're taking the mark, you're already worshiping his image, worshiping the beast. But check this out. This is what happens if you take that mark. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. That's some serious stuff. If you take this mark, you going to hell. There is no redemption for you. Now we can get into that about why there is no redemption, but we're going to stick to the mark itself that the Bible talks about. Now, a lot of people will read that and they will say, well, that's not true. If the Bible isn't true, then there will be no evidence around us for that, which there is a lot of evidence around us that speaks about that is being shown as far as people getting RFID chips the size of a grain of rice that they are inside your skin, under the skin, in the hand. Some of them are getting it in the left hand. Some of them, majority of them are getting it in the right hand. And I just find that fascinating that the Word of God talks about in their right hand. Now that's the physical part of it. There's also a spiritual part of it, but we're not going to get into that. We're going to stick to the physical part of it. As far as, like I said, what it does, that's a whole nother topic we can get into. But if the Bible wasn't true, if this isn't true, then there would be no evidence for it, right? I want to look at that. The videos are all over YouTube. Of people getting chips in their hands. The owner of Bitcoin, he has one in his hand where he can make purchases and stuff. But I stay in Georgia, and I found some interesting stuff that I would like to share with you. Let's check it out. I don't have the technology like I used to, so I'm back and forth with my Bible, my tablet. So bear with me. Okay. This is Senate Bill 235. It was passed. Senator Pearson, he presented it. Was passed in 2010. As passed Senate. This is for Georgia. So as to prohibit requiring a person to be implanted with a microchip. Oh, to provide for definitions, to provide for penalties, to provide for regulations by the Georgia Composite Medical Board. So it's talking about requiring a person to be implanted with a microchip. Why would Georgia have this is a law against that they cannot implant you with a microchip without your consent. It's called the Microchip Consent Act of 2010. This is a real law. This act shall be known as a Microchip Consent Act of 2010. What? Really? And it goes on talking about it, relating to assault and battery, because you have people, which a lot of people don't notice, that they are implanting people with these chips because they're doing trial runs. And the people found out that they had these chips in them because they were being harassed by them. They were being assaulted with these chips because they were sending different frequencies to their body. If you're not familiar with that, different frequencies, they can, mess with you or whatnot. But we're not going to get into that because that's going off in left field. But we're going to stick to this. Let's read what it says. I'm sorry for the glare. Right there. Implant includes any means intended to introduce a microchip internally beneath the skin or applied to the skin of a person. So it talks about both of them. It talks about having one on and then having one in you. Then it goes on to describe. Microchip means any micro device, sensor, transmitter, mechanism, electronically readable marking, or nanotechnology. We talk about stuff like this with conspiracy theorists. This is a real law passed in the state of Georgia in 2010, talking about microchips, talking about nanotechnology that is passively or active, capable of doing what? Transmitting or receiving information. What? Hold on. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Hold on. The Bible is how many years old? The Bible is how many years old? And it's talking about receiving a chip, receiving a mark. 2015. This is 2015 we're in. This was passed in 2010. And here we have microchip internally, beneath the skin. Hold on. And such term shall not include pacemakers. So it's not talking about pacemakers. It's talking about something completely different. Person means any individual, irrespective of age, legal status, or legal capacity. Required includes physical violence, threat, intimidation, retaliation. So they're saying they can't use any of this against you. They can't force you to take it. Whoa. What does that say right there? No person shall be required to be implanted with a microchip. Hold on. 2015? This is a real law. And it goes on talking about it's a misdemeanor if you do it, which it need to be a felony. Hold on, people. Any person required to have a microchip implanted in violation of this code section may file a civil action for damages. So you've been implanted with a microchip, you can sue. Okay, my phone died, but let's go on net. SB 235, Senate Bill 235 of 2010, ban on required human microchip implantation. And it goes on talking about February 4th, 2010, Senate Bill passed. March 4th, 2009, introduced. It goes on to people who voted against it, stuff like that. Microchip Consent Act of 2010. Former Governor Roy Barnes said Georgia passed laughable legislation. Excuse me. He was laughing at it. He tried to use it against him to win his way back into governor. Then it goes on to talk about it. That is talking about a lady who had one implanted in her, and she gave a testimony about it in front of a Georgia legislation. The videos on YouTube and stuff like that. It's all over the net. So as you can see, if it wasn't true, then why is there a law in Georgia, and I think there's a few other states, that it is illegal to implant somebody with a microchip? As we've seen, it wasn't talking about pacemakers. Why is it illegal if it's not real? It's time to wake up and stop living in the fantasy land that you're living in and realize that the Bible is true. The Bible is real. I don't know if you noticed, but after Revelation, it's a new story. It's a new life. And that's in Revelation 13. I know it's all takes time, but we see the technology is here. This was in 2010. That was almost 5 years ago, matter of fact, because it was passed in February 4th. So almost 5 years ago. So they were implanting people back in 2010 and probably before that, because they had to have the technology. They had to get to the point of having that technology where they could implant it into somebody without them knowing. What do you think they have now? Don't you think they have progressed? But yet you still want to deny the Bible. You still want to deny the truth. It's coming. It's not even coming. It's here. It just hasn't happened yet. It just hasn't been implemented as being mandatory.
Give us your name and who you represent, please, ma'am.
My name is Kathleen Gary, and I'm a resident of DeKalb County, and I'm also one of the people in Georgia who has a microchip. And I've been talking to the different legislators and trying to get help in trying to outlaw this the implants. I want to speak particularly on the medical issue of the microchip that she mentioned, and I just got a few things. Microchips, they infringe on issues that are fundamental to our very existence. They're our rights to privacy, our rights to body integrity, the right to say no to foreign input in our bodies, specifically the right to refuse microchips being put in our bodies by the government, or anyone else, the right not to be tortured in our homes by these microchips being scanned by electronic devices that is happening, and to activate these microchips, the right to work without being tortured by co-workers who are activating these microchips by using their cell phones and other electronic devices, the right to just live, work, worship, attend schools, attend church services without being further torture from these microchips. It's actually torture. It's just not just a little implant that you put in. You're actually tortured by these microchips. When they are scanned, they cause the body all kind of problems. Microchips are like little beepers. And just imagine, if you will, having a beeper in your rectum, a gentle area, and the most sensitive area of your body, and your beeper number is displayed on billboards throughout the city, all done without your permission, with an award available for each caller. Hundreds of people calling you, blowing up your beeper, vibrating it in your flesh, invading your privacy rights to your own body. You're followed and tortured everywhere you go. You travel all over town trying to get somebody to help you get it out, and but instead you feel the shocking pains from the tip of your spine to the bottom of your feet. It's like a grounding effect. Blurred vision, headaches, stomach pains, cramps, muscle spasms, uncontrolled blood pressure issues on 2 or 3 blood pressure pills, fatigue, stinging and burning skin, loss of concentration, ringing in your ears, heat sensation to the skin from the scanning devices, frictions of the vibrations that's going on with calling and dialing thing is working constantly in your flesh. It's torture every single day. And every time you try to find help, you go to doctors, and their hands are tied from giving you the proper medical treatment that you need and deserve.
Thank you, ma'am. I think we got a question from one of the committee members. Ms. Oliver, is it yours? No. Who was it? So on the end, Mr. Weldon?
Ma'am, did you say you have a microchip?
Yes, I do.
Ma'am, did you say you have a microchip?
Yes, I do.
Ma'am, did you say you have a microchip?
Yes, I do.
Take emptiness away. You take emptiness away. You take emptiness away. Oh, you take emptiness away. You take it.